Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is lecture number 2 on the topic of functions. Okay. And this question I'm going to do now. All of you get ready. Although I have given this question to you in the last class, but I think there is a few points that are very important, which I want to discuss with you. So all of you get ready, especially in this question. The hard part was how to how to find this A, and later on, what is the line of symmetry means. Inshallah, I believe you'll understand. So let's start. So in the worksheet is the question number 18. All right. So first of all, we here will do completing square. You know it very well. 2x to power 2 minus 12x and plus 13. And domain is given starting from 0, ending at 8. This is called domain. And all of you know domain stand for what? The x values. Along x values, it's starting from 0, 1, 2, I don't know how much. So first of all, we have to do completing square. This I taught you last class. And last class, what I taught you about it, that whenever we want to do completing square, so job number 1, must make x square coefficient positive. So take 2 common out from first 2 terms. No need to take third term. Okay, after that, what is the next plan? You know it very well. Write both terms as it is and plus 13 and take a half of 6. I repeat my words. Half of 6 give you what? 3. Take a square of this number. And 1 times 3 square add, and 1 times 3 square subtract. So now what is after that? Afterwards, these 3 terms combine. What is method of combining? All of you know, must know it. This x come from here. 3 come from here. This minus come from here. Because you know what, students, when you expand it, you get this same answer for 3 terms. So that is why if you expand, you get 3 terms, and 3 terms can be combined this way. This left behind, I'm writing 9 here, minus 9. Now this 2 multiply with this and 2 multiply with that. It will look like this. And 2 9s are 18. Last form, completing square done now. Minus 18 plus 13 give you minus 5. So alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, completing square done. So first part is over. What he was asking, delivered in this form and 3 marks for it. I just revised the concept which I delivered last time. So A part is over. Let's go for B part. And B part is asking here, state the value of A, like we have to find A value. The graph has a line of symmetry. Line of symmetry, it must have a line of symmetry. So what your symmetrical line means, for example, this is a rectangle. If you cut the rectangle exactly from middle, this is called line of symmetry. What is the distance here? Same distance here. Okay, this is not a line of symmetry. Wrong. Why? Because this small distance, it is a more distance. So some line of symmetry always like that. Same approach if I have a curve like that. Okay, so this is not line of symmetry. Wrong. It's not line of symmetry. Wrong. This is called line of symmetry. And make sure it must pass through the turning point, the stationary point. So this is a line of symmetry. So now I'm going to show you. And he said what? Last time he said that, sorry, I given this question last time, but starting from 0, ending what number, I don't know. So this is a very interesting part. So let's start. First of all, I show this graph here, a rough idea, make it here so you can understand. Okay, so what is a turning point? Job number 1 you will find. I taught you many times how to find stationary coordinates, how to get stationary coordinates. The stationary coordinate point we can find very easily. I taught last time under power 2 whatever, put equal to 0. When I put this value equals to 0, my students, I get 3. And how to get y value? The number outside, including sign, is called y value. We can find it two ways or three ways. If I plug in this 3 directly in this equation, how come? 3, put it here. 3 minus 3 is 0. 0 into 2 is 0. Minus 5 is minus 5. Or plug in this 3 in the top equation. Again, it becomes minus 5. Third way, without any working, the number outside a bracket, including sign, is called y coordinate. So what is answer for this turning point? This turning point is so simple. So 3 comma minus 5. And now I'm going to draw a number line here. All of you get ready. Now I'm going to show you, inshallah. For example, this is 0, this is 3, this is 2, this is 1. Okay. And let's see now how we can make it. This is 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Now my question is said that graph started from 0. Okay. So if my graph is this much only, but because you know that symmetrical line, I'm going to make a symmetrical line in the middle of that. You look at it, students. This is symmetrical line. I make a black color line, you can understand. This is a symmetrical line. Okay. And you know it very well. This is called line of symmetry. Line of symmetry. Okay. So line of symmetry is this very clear. So common sense now, how much you move left side, 3 boxes, you must move 3 box right side. Why? You can ask me, what is the reason, sir? What is the reason? Is very clear reason. Because if this diagram, look at here, if I erase this diagram half part, okay, is this symmetrical diagram? Is this a bigger curve? It is a smaller curve. So this is no more symmetrical. Symmetrical nature is that it means if I plot the graph till 4, so it is not symmetrical. Check it. Here we have a high bending. Here we have less bending. So the wrong. So if I make my graph full this much, so 4, it means how much I move left side, 3 boxes, 3 values, 2, 1, 0. How much move right side? 3, 1, 2, 3. So it means 4, 5, and 6. So 6 is my final point where it must stop. I believe the point is very clear. So now it looked like, so what is this number is 6. So it means what the number we're looking for is 6. So it means the value of A is 6. So A value is 6, which make question symmetrical. I hope so. The point is very clear. It means how much I move left side, same move right side. And here value of 3. So from 3 backwards 0 and upward is 6. So I hope so. The point is very clear. So that is why you got a domain clear. So domain is 0 to 6. If you want to make the function symmetrical, if you want to make function symmetrical, so then you start from 0, ending where? Ending 6. But for this whole story, you must know one point. What is that? And that is a turning point you must know. Otherwise, question, you cannot solve it. Let's go for third part, which I given last class. Find the range for this value. Common sense, this value means this domain. Now it's a very interesting point I'm going to teach you here because this domain is not real number. You remember last class I taught you that when x belongs to a real number, domain is what? When curved in this way, this point is 3 minus 5. If I go right or left, the curve goes up, 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 up. So what is range? Y is bigger than equal to minus 5 and non-stoppable. Why? Because it never stops. But in this particular question, it stops. How stops? Because x start from 0 ending at 6. This is an unlimited value of x. X belongs to real number. Whenever real number comes, students, real number. Real number means there's no boundary limit along x-axis. So you can go forever left, we can go ever right. But here in this particular question, we have a range. We have a boundary limit starting from 0, ending 6. So simple plan. I will plug in against 0. What answer turns to be? Against 0, I want to find the range. So let's start. When I plug in 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, what happened? I show you. Or plug in 0 even here. No problem at all. So when I plug in 0 here, what happens? Let's see. So this is very clear. If I check it here, negative 3 square 9, 9 2s are 18. Out of 18, 5 gone. So I get what? I got 13. So it means against 0, I got 13. No need to put 6, because if I plug in 6, I get again 13, inshallah, for sure. If you don't want to see, you want to see, so put 6 here. So 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 squared 9, 9 to 18, 18 minus 5, 13 once again. So don't waste time. So very simple, highest value of the range is what here, students? Highest value is coming here is 13. And what is the lowest value of the y? And lowest value of the y is minus 5. So you know it very well, lowest value. So we know that lowest value of y is minus 5. Then what is the range turned to be? So range I'm writing finally, range is f of x, highest value is 13 and lowest value is minus 5. This is my range. But if you don't believe me, I show you inshallah on graphical tool. I believe you will inshallah understand it very well. So 2 mark question. So I'm going to show you how it is coming. So let's graph. Let's start and sketch it. So what the question is, 2x minus 3 whole square and minus 5. So let's start. So I'm going to write it here. 2 bracket open x minus, and I think so. This is a 3 and power 2 and minus 5. Okay. So I think this is the same graph. I got it. Okay. So now I'm going to show you what some few things which are very, very important. I have to show graph. I think the noise graph is okay. Wait a minute. Yeah, minus 5. Okay. Now I take a picture of this one. And let's see now how we can explain this concept. So all of you get ready, please. Look at here. So you know it with function of f of x was 2 times 2x minus 3 whole square minus 5. And domain was what? Domain was what? Domain was starting x value starting from 0, ending at what? 5. Sorry, ending at 6. You know this a value 6. Okay, which I got it. Now check it here. 0 is where? 0 is here, my student. Where is 6? 6 is somewhere here. Let's find. You know 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe the point is very clear what I'm saying. So 6 is here. Okay. And what is the lowest value is coming here is very clear, minus 5. So this is the lowest value. Okay. And what is the highest value? Highest value you saw at 0 and 6. At 6, when you go up, and meet it here somewhere, and that is a 13, I think so. Against 0, if I go up, I'd meet here. So it means the highest value, if you check it carefully, it is 13. So because 13 is meeting, look at here, where it's meeting. There's a 14, there's a 15. So it is a 13, is meeting at 13. So it means the highest value, even 13 for both values, even meeting here 13. So what is a domain and range? So range is so simple, and I think point is very clear. And this is range for your knowledge range, okay? And the range is what? The highest value is 13. So range I'm writing now here. So range is y, you write f of x, no problem. You write f of x or you write y, no problem at all. Highest value is 13 and lowest value minus 5. So alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, I believe you got a point very clear. Okay, so let's complete the question. So Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, I believe the point is very clear and you understood very well about the concept of domain and range. So domain is stand the values along x-axis. Along x-axis called domain, along y-axis called range. So this point is very, very clear. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Let's go back and on our this concept. So Alhamdulillah, I tried my best to explain you again the range concept, and we have done it, alhamdulillah. Now, after this, my next plan is to discuss a very important part, and that is when inverse exists and when not inverse exists. Look at here. I discussed last class, explained why G has inverse and why G has no inverse. You remember, student, last time I taught you one concept, and that was one-to-one concept, if you remember. So domain and range, I said last time, if how many values here, 1, 2, 3, and so for example, 10, 12, 14. And how many is the x values? Same y values, but one value. So it is called one-to-one function. If we have one-to-one function, it has inverse exist. It has inverse. It has inverse. But in case inverse. But in case sometime we have one x value has too many values of y. For example, I can say you, for example, let's start. One has a 5 answer and two also 5 answer. So this is a problem in this question. In this kind of question, I'm going to show you, okay? This is called many to one, many to one. And we discussed this is a, it has no inverse. So let's first of all concentrate how we can find it. Let's start. Problem is only one. So I'm going to teach you now one-to-one concept, okay? So one-to-one function, it has inverse. If not one-to-one function, it has no inverse. This is a definition actually. Okay? And now this is a testing way. This testing way that how we test that inverse exists or not exist. So let's start. So first of all, before I start, look at here. I come back to you on the same graph. I show you something here. What is the important part? Okay, attentive please here. Here. So I just gave you some ideas. So inshallah, I believe you understand. Concentrate fully here. You know what I said that every x value must have one value of y. Okay, if it happens, okay. Otherwise, not. For example, let's start. This is turning point, and turning point is what? X is 3 and y is -5. You know it very well. I write 3 -5. Turning points are very clear to every person. Now, what is the problem? Problem is that, for example, when x is 2, what is y value? Repeat my words. When x value is 2, what is y value? Y value is this, -3. I repeat my words again. When what is 2, what is y value? Say so -3. Okay, my question again from what is a value against 4? You say against 4, sir, let's go down. It is meeting here. Again, it has -3 value. Again, it has -3 value. Okay, so against 4, again, we have -3 value. Now, problem is what here? You can see that from here, that against 2, we have this value. Against 4, we have same value. Now, problem is this. So how to remove this problem? How to get it? So currently it is called many to one. How to write? Many to one function. Many to one function. So whenever many to one function comes, inverse never exists. Inverse never exists. Okay. Now how to make it exist? Common sense, it is a very clear approach that that curve is like we have to stop the curve at turning point. For example, just sake of understanding, I just show you. Inshallah, I believe you will understand. So have a look here. So this part is clear. So let's, for example, my domain is the graph is coming from this end. I show different color. Coming this end coming and stop. So it means I have to stop either this curve, we have to stop it, okay, or you have this curve, we have to stop it to draw, okay. For example, if I have a partial this graph, for example, if I have this part of graph we have, so it is okay. I repeat my words. If I have this part of graph, I mean the left curve, so it stops at 3 and -5. So starting from where? Starting from 0, 1, 2, and 3. If your graph stops at 3 and graph further never moves, then what happens? So this graph is no more at there, no more is there. If this graph is no more there, if this graph is no more, so now check it. Is this okay or not okay? I check again. I check again for this graph. Okay, now check. Now check. I have domain and range. Inshallah, I believe you understand now. This is the domain and range. This little bit tough idea, but inshallah, I believe you'll understand. So for example, against 2, when what is the y value? -3. Against 2, what is y value? Minus 3. Okay. Against 1, what is y value? The y value is minus 1. Against 1 value, I get a minus 1. Against, for example, 3, no, this is not 1, sorry. This is not a 1, sorry for that. Against this, in between 2 and 4, 3. Against 3, I have what value? Minus 5. Against 3, I have minus 5. Okay. Against 1, I have a graph up, but I can't show you this time. So against 1, let's say the answer is, for example, if I plug in 1 in this equation, so 2 times 2, 1 minus 3 whole square minus 5. This give you 4 to the 8. Out of 8, 3 go, 8, 5 gone, 3 left. So 3. Now you can observe that it is called 1 to 1. Why it's called 1 to 1? Every one x value has a 1 value of y. I hope so all of you understood well. So it means that we have to stop our curve at turning point. I repeat my words. We have either left part of curve, stop at turning point, or second option, the right part of the curve, stopping here. Look at it, right part. In right part, I have to stop, and this right side will get. Look, I'm erasing now. Inshallah, I believe you understand. In that option, we have this graph. This is gone. There's no more graph is there. No more graph. So we have this part of graph is coming and stopping at this point. So it means this graph, sorry, go reverse. So it means this graph I have, this graph I have. Okay. So this right side graph. So it is starting from 3 and going right side. X value is 3 and going 3, 4, 5, 6. So graph is going this way and is again is a one-to-one function. I believe all of you understand well. So it means that, and my question from you, among these value, what is the highest value the inverse exists? For example, so highest value of the x value, and this is what? 3. This is 3 is called highest value or maximum value. Maximum value is 3. In this, what is the minimum value? Because in this graph, the minimum value is 3. So if you ask a maximum value or minimum value, both are option, the turning point x coordinate is value. So I believe the point is very clear. And if you're not clear, I give you more ideas. Don't worry, inshallah, but focus first of all here. It means that a simple story. I'm saying what here. If you want to stop the curve, so you just see what this number is 3. So what is the function exist? Two options. Either from here backwards function inverse exists, or from here on back forward. So two options are there. X is less than equal to 3 or X is bigger than equal to 3. I believe the point is very clear. So if I have less than, so I have a this right side graph is no more there. So if I say X is bigger than, then left graph is no more there. So that is why it is 1 to 1. So function is, if function is 1 to 1, then it has inverse exist. So it is our wish. Come on the question. I believe you, inshallah, you will understand. Concentrate, please. What is written here? X is bigger than 4. I repeat my words. So first of all, go back and have a look now very carefully. What is a turning point? What is the turning point? Have a look here. I'm going to show you now. This part I'm going to show you here. So my question, what is the curve turning here? 3, 5, 3, 5. Okay. And what he's saying here, X is bigger than 4. So let's start now. If my graph is this way, and look at here, students, 3, 5 is graph. This is 3, 5. Okay. And this is 3. And this is 3 value. And look at here. Here we have a X is 4. Here we X is 5. Here we X is 6. So my question from you, if you are going along the graph now, but he said that X value is bigger than equal to 4. So graph is starting from X4, then 5, then 6. So graph is going this way. And because graph is starting this way, so graph value Y range will start from here onwards. And you can see that if X value start from 4 onwards, and we have only 1. And look at here, whenever turning point lies there, there's no more inverse function. For example, look at in this domain, 0 to 6, 0 to 6 domain, 0 to 6 domain. Problem is that the curve has turning point. If it's a turning point, there's no one-to-one function. Okay. So, but now in this situation, your domain is what? Look at here. Your domain is X value is bigger than equals to 4. And what's the range, students? So range is very simple, very, very clear range. Range is you put 4 in the place of this X, this X. When I put 4 in the place of X, So 4 minus 3 is 1. I put 4 here. 4 minus 3 is 1, 1 to the 2, and I get negative 3 because 2 minus 5 is negative 3. So it means y value starting from negative 3 and goes up and up and up and up. So this is range. And now you know that it is one-to-one function. It is one-to-one function. It is one-to-one function. Before it was not one-to-one function. Why, sir? You can ask me because the curve is turning and domain was 0 to 6. If domain was 0 to 6, it is no one to function. I said before, so from 3, if you go backwards only, it means you have no this curve, then it's one-to-one function. Or from 3 move upward forward, and this left graph is not there, it is one-to-one function. So for one-to-one function short story, we have a one graph, either right graph or left graph. But both graph is there, there's no more one-to-one function. Because curve turns, then we have a two answers. One answer comes from here, one answer comes from here. Two answers. So stopping two answer, we stop our curve at turning point. So I believe the point is very clear. And if one, so what was question was? He said that explain G has inverse or not for this domain. You say what is the answer coming for this? Yes, as domain is x bigger than 4 and f of x is one-to-one function, is 1-to-1. So inverse exists. So inverse exists. And I got I'm sure that you got the point is very clear. So inverse exists. Okay. So it means that because the turning point is there, very clear. So alhamdulillah rabbil alamin, I believe you got some idea about this one, that why inverse exists or not exist. But sometimes he will tell you, give me the that value when inverse exists. So if I ask you what is the least or largest value of x function inverse exists, every time you say 3 value. Why? Because for the right side, if you move from 3 and root right forward, so this graph is no more than inverse exists. Or if I go from here backwards, this right graph is not the inverse exists. So in both option inverse exists. I hope so the point is very clear. Okay, now because now before I start this concept, one idea is very clear, but I think we have to practice more idea. This same concept, we should not leave it here. We have to try some more concepts. Okay, same idea, some more points. So I think so. 1 minute, please. Yeah, this is a very good question to solve. Okay, let's start now. So first of all, this is a real number. So I'm going to first of all do one thing. First you try, then I will help you, inshallah. Okay. So what you will do, you will not do the I part, leave it, because this is not a chapter of the functions. So you will try this part. So completing score you will do first yourself, and it is a real number, and you will find the range for it. And after that, you will find out what is the that A. And most probably when a curve is turning, so turning point x coordinate is actually our A. But first you try and find out a smallest value. Then I explain to you again what is called smallest value that verse has exist. So please go ahead, try this part number 2, part number 2, part number 3, and part number 4. So these 3 parts you try yourself. Then I will do this question. First you check your knowledge, how much you gained. Okay, and then I will do, inshallah, I believe you will understand your mistakes. Yes, student, I'm going to do now. I hope so you try, you good at reasonable time and tried. Okay. So first of all, completing square. Completing square, you know it, 2x square minus 8x plus 14 is a function of f of x. 2x square minus 8 plus 14. Okay. So I believe completing square is not a hard for you. Take common from here. You know why? Because x square coefficient must be plus 1. Take 2 common. Then what? 14 unchanged. So I got x square and minus 4x. All right, then what? Next step. Copy both terms without any change. What is a half of 4? 2. So 2 square, add and subtract. So even add, subtract, these 3 terms will combine. So I get what here? So from here, x, from here, 2, from here, sign minus. So x minus 2 whole square. And this is the minus 4 I'm writing outside the bracket. Now this 2 multiply here and here. So I get 2 times 2x minus 2 whole square, and 2 4s are 8. And I believe you are comparing your answer and you're understanding. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. This part is very, very clear. Completing square is done. And now I'm going to do next part. He said that completing square done, find the range if a real number. And what's technique? First of all, find stretching point. You know, x squared positive is a point of minima. And how to get turning point coordinates? Very simple technique I taught before, that under power 2, whatever, put equal to 0. So I'm putting it 0 here. X minus 2 equal to 0. I got x is equal to 2. So x value is 2. And how to find y value? I said before many times, the number out of bracket is called y value. So Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So, but thing is that in this question, domain is no boundary limit. I can go right side and left side forever. No boundary limit. So y value goes here and go upward or upward forever. So y value start from here and going upward. So value is 6. So I can say the range is so simple. Range y is bigger than equal to 6. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I hope so. The point is very, very clear. Because if I go right and left, y value will start from 6 and going up and up and up. So this is another hard job. Hard job is coming onward where student getting issues. The issue is what? Now he's asking the same function. He's to the same function. Just function name change only, but function values are exactly same. He's saying this function is not for real number. Look at it, students. First, it was x belongs to real number. Okay, now he's saying x is bigger than is equal a particular number. So inverse must exist. You remember I just discussed that if the curve turns, I was discussed with just recent now that in the previous part, when a curve turns, so it is not one-to-one function. It's called many-to-one function, and it is inverse never exists. So it's possible. What is technique? I just show you with a scale, a graph. Okay, either you have, look at, if I rub left side, I rub and stop here. It's called right side graph. It means this inverse exists. Or second option, if I rub right side and this one stop, this is called inverse possible. So it means inverse possible only in two options. Either I have to go a right side graph or left side graph. Okay. And how to read this one? How to read the right side part? So what the question he was asking it? He said that smallest value of A for inverse exists. And for your knowledge, the smallest value is 2. You know how to? I just prove it. What proving? I take this graph here, and inshallah, I believe you'll understand. Look here, this graph, and graph is starting from here and move forward right side. This domain, the domain start from 2, the domain start from 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, continue forever. Okay, and the y value start from here. It goes forever upwards, and y value is bigger than equal to 6, and domain is x value bigger than equal to 2. So my question from you, among these values of x, because there's no boundary limit, and okay, what is the least number? So least number is 5. No. Least number is 4. Not at all. Number 3. Not at all. 2. Yes. Why? I cannot go further back. So 2 is called least number. So least value of x, least, because he was asking us least value of a. So least value of A, which make inverse possible, value of A is confirmed 2. And you're surprised to know, not least even. Even he asked you largest. For example, I have this curve, this part of curve. And this is what, students? This is what? 2. This is 1. This is 0. This minus 1. This minus 2. Among these values, what is the highest value? The highest value among these values is 2 again. So you're surprised that in both options, either he asks you least value or he asks largest value. Both options, your turning point x coordinate is my answer. So I believe the point is clear, and that is why the least value. So 1 mark answer, 1 mark question. So no need to waste time. 1 mark. See. So what is smallest value of the A? So x value A, but inverse exists. He asks you smallest value or he asks you largest value of A. In both options, the turning point x coordinate is my answer. I believe the concept is very clear now, and you understood a one-to-one function. Now let's talk about next level. Next level is that how to find inverse functions. Very interesting and very important part I'm going to discuss now. Okay, and this part is not a hard job. Hard job is this is to continue how to put a signs plus and minus there. So let's start. First of all, I will take you on a O levels mathematics. Okay, and I will discuss with you first of all O levels concept. Get ready. For example, this is a question I'm giving you, and the question is what, my student? F of x is equal to 2x plus 1. So get ready. Or 2x plus 5 is better. Okay, my question from you, find inverse. So find inverse. So how to find inverse, not a hard job for you. I bring on a level of O levels. What is the method? First of all, remove the function name and write y. If you remember, currently what is subject? Y subject. And what is the way? What is the target? You have to make an X subject. So we have y subject, and but we have to make X subjects. What is method to bring? So first 5 will come here. 2 is multiplying, will divide. Side changes, X become left and this become right. No change, no change. And now interchange. What is called interchange? Interchange is a very important part of the topic. Interchange means X become Y and Y become X. I repeat, this X become Y and this Y become X. So I believe this is nothing hard at all. And this Y is called F inverse. That's it. This you done in O levels. I just revised for you so you can understand the previous concept. Now I'm discussing the new part. Okay. But before I start, there's a very, very important thing I want to discuss with you before I move on next. This interchange is very important. Okay. And what is interchanging? So first of all, I just show you some concept and inshallah, I believe you will understand. Okay. So let's make it domain and range. There's a domain, there's a range. Okay, I plug in X value. Let's say I plug in X value 0. When I plug in X value 0, here my students, I get 0 into 2, 0 plus 5. I got a 5 answer. Okay, my students, okay, for example, I plug in the place of X, let's say I plug in 1. When I plug in 1 in the place of X, so just take of understanding 2 plus 2 and plus 7. So I get what answer, students? I'm getting 7. Okay, I just take off and I plug in 2. When I plug in 2 to the 4 plus 5, 9. So I believe you're not getting any big trouble. So you plug in X values in the place and you got a range. Okay, very, very clear. So domain and range is very clear idea. But this is for function. Now let's start inverse function. Okay, is one function is this one. So let's start. And for inverse function, what story we have? Attentive, please. There's a domain, is a range. Let's plug in some values of X inside here. For example, I plug in domain is 5 in the place of X, just sake of understanding. I plug in 5 in the place of X, and 5 minus 5 is 0, and 0 by 2 is 0. So alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, I got 0. Okay, for sake of understanding, I place now X value 7. So when I plug in X value 7 in the place of X, and you know it very well, 7 minus 5 is 2 by 2 is got a 1. So alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. I place, so just sake of knowledge, this point, I put 9. 9 minus 5 is a 4. 4 by 2 got a 2. So I believe you got my point. Look at, I plug in domain range. For your sake of knowledge, look at here. All these 5, 7, 9 matches, oh, they match. And 0, 1, 2 match, they match. So can I say what happens? Look at here. A very interesting part I'm going to discuss with you. Last sentence, a very important sentence. So range of the function is equal to domain of the inverse function. I repeat my words. This is a very, very important point you have to copy later on, or you can copy, don't copy now because you concentrate first and copy later on, okay? Or I give chance to take screenshot, no problem. It's a very important, the whole topic depend upon this, so get ready. Range of, look, this is range of function. Can you see? Correct. And can I say that range of function and domain of function exactly match? See, 5 same, 7 same, 9 same. So I can say that range of function is equals to domain of inverse function. That's it. I repeat, range of function equals to domain of inverse function. And I believe this is nothing hard. You agree with me even. 5 match, 7 match, 9 match. So I can say simple that range of function is actually domain of inverse function. So alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And what is the logic behind? You done interchange. In the interchange, what happened? What you do? You make X as a Y and Y make an X. And X is called domain. This is X is called domain. Okay, let me write last sentence. Is this domain of the function and range of function match or not match? Check. This 0 same, correct. This 1 same, correct. This 2 same, match. So can I say domain of function is actually range of inverse function? 100% correct. So I'm writing here now. Domain of function equals to range of f inverse. These two rules you have to memorize or understand. If you understand the question, is nothing hard. Cross means this way and this way. Actually, range of function equal to domain of inverse function, and opposite. Domain of function equal to range of inverse function. And look at here. What is x called? Domain of, sorry, what is x called? Domain of the function. And now it become what? This become what? This is called range of inverse function, because this is called inverse, okay? And this is what is called domain, range of the function. Y is called range, and it become what? X domain. So y become x and x become y. I repeat my words, x become y and y become x. We are doing ourselves, and manually it is working behind the scene like that. Okay, so it means very clear story. So I think I can say without any working, no need of workout. So if I say that, for example, look at there. Here I plug in student this 0.012. Okay, now I'm plugging in other numbers. For example, I plug in some other numbers. So I plug in domain of function. Okay, I'm plugging it here. 1 minute, please. Oh, sorry for that. I plug in here some other numbers. Okay, inshallah, I believe you'll understand. For example, there's a domain of function, and I plug in 3, 10, and 3. I think okay. Yeah, 3 is okay. 10 even okay. Okay, enough. And your range. When I plug in 3 in the place of 3 in the place of this x, 3 to the 6, 6 plus 5, 11. When I plug in this 10 in the place, 10 to the 20, 25. So can I say that this is a domain of function? This is called domain of function. This is called what? Domain of function. And what is called? This is actually range of the function, but become this is what? For your knowledge, this is what? Range of the function, but became domain of inverse function. Domain of f inverse. So this is answer will come 11.525. So I hope so you got the idea. You can see it here. So actually range of function is actually domain of inverse function. Look at here. Range of function is equal to domain of inverse function. So very, very clear approach. I hope so. The concept is very, very clear. Little bit tricky, but I think, okay, not a hard. And this example make idea very clear. Whenever you want to revise the concept, this part of the video, if you open it, you will understand how this rule applicable. So let's start. I apply same concept on the next question, but later on. I think so. Wait a minute, let me check. I think we should apply not here. We should apply on some questions. So let's start, because even he can ask you this kind of questions here. Let's see that this question where to apply. Okay. Inverse and okay. This is a very interesting part is here we have, you can see he's asking state and okay, I'm adding extra part. Okay, but first of all, I will teach you inverse part even. Okay, the way, okay, before I start that part, I will add one extra part here. This is the one concept, you got it. Okay, second concept I'm going to add here, how to find inverse of this one completing square. For example, if I ask you find inverse of this one, so how to find inverse? So 2x, let's start. I repeat my words. This question I'm doing, and I'm finding inverse. So let's start. This is a very interesting part. Okay, the way you found this all steps. First of all, okay, no problem. Inshallah, discuss. Okay, so listen to me first of all. So this inverse function, you got idea. Okay, how to find inverse idea? This function. Okay, first of all, remove function and write y. One job is clear. Try to make a x subject. So 5 will go there, this 5 will go there, and this -5 and 2 multiply, so 2 divide, you got x alone, interchange, x become y and y become x, and you got inverse. So this same story I'm applying on this question, because he was asking find out G inverse expression. So look at here, G inverse expression. So let's start. So step number 1, remove function, rem and write y. Okay, and this is clear, and this is okay, done. Now we have to try make x subject. How to make x subject, students? So 6 will go there. Okay, this 2 multiplying with the whole thing, 2 will divide. Okay. Now, side changes, I got x minus 2 whole square here and y minus 6 over 2 on the right hand side. Then what? Then what I have to do? Then how to remove the power 2, root of both sides. When I take root of both sides, it will become x minus 2 is equals to plus and minus root of y minus 6 over 2. And now this 2 is minus, will go there and add. So I hope so. Inverse is not a hard job to find it. This is called F inverse. So I believe you understood very well, but I will discuss in detail. We have to keep one sign here. Both sign not acceptable. Why not acceptable? Because we have a curve turning here. So either you have a right part of graph or left part of graph. So plus and minus both are not possible. Either we write plus sign or either we write minus sign. So I will teach you this in next lecture when how to put a plus and minus. But today lecture, I up till now I discussed with you what first of all I discussed with you how to find inverse of any function, and it's not a hard job. First I took a O levels functions concept and I discussed with you in detail. So now I done AS level concepts. So power 2 comes how to do remove function right y, 6 will come and subtract, 2 multiply, so divide, and remove the root. And root removing means power 2 removing means root of both sides, plus and minus will come, and interchange. Here I missed. I should write what here? I should, this mistake I done some extent. I should interchange. I did not interchange. Sorry for that. And write it interchange. What is interchange, students? X become Y and Y become X. So sorry, I missed that one first. And this is called F inverse. So alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Now I hope so you got idea full. So 2 plus and minus and x minus 6 over 2. So inverse you have no issue at all. Now alhamdulillah I believe inverse no issue. The inverse easy, but you have an issue in only this concept. Okay, that how I explain and what is the whole story. I just summary again, then I take you another example. Let's start. What I have plugin. First I showed this function, one example is I took function, I found inverse. You say, okay, after I took some sample values, some values I plug in the function, I got range. This is called domain I plug in, and what I answer I got is called range. What you put always is called domain, and what you get always is called range. It's not a hard job. Then I want to have, just so for the sake of your understanding, what I've done, I took all domain range values and say, just sake of understanding, I plug in this 5 in the place of this, and I solve, I got 0. Then I solve, put 7 in the place of x, I got 1. Okay, then I solve 9 in the place of x, I got 2. And when I saw the whole idea, this is a range of the function became domain of the inverse function. And what is the domain? What is a domain of the function become range of inverse function. So this is a story actually. Okay, and don't worry, I'm going to discuss this idea once again. I know you need some practice, so let me check. Let me check where I can give more concept this idea. Wait a minute, please, because this concept is very important. Okay, and if you will not understand this, very hard. I think this is a very good concept. So let's start this question. Okay, still we have some time, so do one thing. This question number 38, first part is completing square. You can do inshallah. He's asking vertex. What is vertex called? What is called stationary point? This point is called three names. This is called vertex. This point is called stationary point. This point is called turning point or extreme point. So you know how to find it. And then he asking what range of function, but make sure here he said the real number, but here immediately he changed x value less than 1. So let's check your knowledge, how you find the range with this domain. I'm not solving this, you will solve yourself. And then leave it the last part, this part I will do myself. So now please try first part and second part, and I will give you maximum 5 minutes. Okay, first you try, and then I will do this question myself, and then I will extra add here domain of inverse function and range of inverse function. So I will find both, inshallah. I believe after that you will understand the concept. So please first you try, then inshallah I will do this part myself. So have a look, students. I'm starting now question 38, which is given to solve. Okay, first of all completing square and then vertex coordinates. So let's start. So job number 1, all of you familiar? Oh, please compare your working with my working. 4 common, 4 6 are 24, 11 keep outside. So this is done. Job number 2. What is a half of 6? Which 6? You can ask me. This 6 is 3. Okay, make it half like this. You got a 3. And 3 square, add and subtract. So when you add, so what happens then? Here, from here, you can write bracket, and this -9 comes outside. But you can ask me, so what in the bracket? This x come from here, 3 from, and minus come from here. So x minus 3. So I hope so clear point. So I got a 4 multiplied with this bracket and 4 multiplied with a 9. So Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, 4 9s are 36 and plus 11. So let me recheck. Yeah. And then 4 and x minus 3 whole square. And this is becoming what? -25. So I believe up till here, you're not getting any trouble. So up till here, easy. And now let's discuss how we can deal the next part. Okay. Uh, Vertex. How to get vertex? Vertex coordinate. Because plus x square plus means is a positive. Positive is point of minima. How to get this vertex coordinate? Under power 2 whatever, under power 2 whatever, plug in equal to 0. I got 3. And how to get y value is called y value. So vertex coming here, 3 comma -25. So it means I can go, because he said real number. So it means I can go right and left without any hesitation. This is called domain. So what is domain? Domain is real number. Domain is what? Domain is x belongs to real number. But what is range? So y value start from here and go up and up and up. So y value start from here and giving to -25. So range is what? But although he's not asking range, just extra part I'm doing for you. Range. He's not asking it. So this is, he was asking turning point, stretching point, and that's it. So vertex, this is called vertex. This he was asking, I have done it. Range is extra part, but very interesting part is here. Some students think that range for this is also same. No students, x is less than 1. So let's see how we can find x is less than 1. So get ready. We have to find the range for 2 marks. Very interesting. So x is less than 1. Before I start, look at here. The turning point is very clear. The graph is this. Okay. The graph is this. And this is the turning point is 3. You know it very well. Okay. But he said what you may listen, student, x is less than 1. So very interesting. Very interesting. So the x is 3 here, and 2 is here, and 1 is here, and 0 is here, and it continues forever. From here, it going, sorry. Not from 3. And we know that 3, but he's asking that, no, give me the range when x is less than 1. So I'm writing here. So what is domain he given us in this particular question? Part, particular question. This is a part number 2. So when part number 2, he's given domain what? X is less than -1. We equals there or not? Equal also there. Equal means this one is included. Okay. So if 1 is there, so I will check it. I will check it from here, go up, and stop here. Check what this y value. Okay. This y value is very important to find. So it means at 1, I will at a 1, I will find it. So this 1, I will plug in here. So again, against 1. I believe understanding. There's a 2, 2 square, 4, 4, 4, 16. And I get what here? -9, I get it. Because 16, 25, and 16, if I check it, it becomes a -9. Okay. So -9 is coming this one. So very simple, clear idea. First range was what? The first range was starting from this is from here and going upward. But now range is what, students? For your knowledge, this starting, look, I show you in blue color, and it's clear. Curve starting from here, going forever up. So what is the range? Range start from here and go up. So what is range come? Y is bigger than equals to -9. And I believe the point is very clear. So range is very clear. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So range is y is bigger than equals to -9. I believe you got a point, because turning point is 3, no doubt about it. But x value is not 3. X value is starting from 1 and backwards. And you observe that as x value start from 1 to backwards, so y value start from 9 and go upwards. So I believe this point is very clear. Now let's talk about the most important part. And I am not discussing this part anymore. Wait a minute. This question, this one, okay. I'm not discussing anymore about the inverse function. I will discuss its next class, inshallah. But now I'm discussing two parts here. Part number one, state the domain of G inverse and state the range of G inverse. Very, very interesting part. So get ready. These two parts is my target. So get ready. Before I start, I recall that formulas. If you remember, two formulas I taught, and I said very important. So I'm writing that one. So you know what is first formula? A domain of G inverse, sorry, F inverse is equals to, let me write again. I'm writing this part again, and this is the most important part. I'm writing it here. Domain of F inverse equals to what, student? Range of function. I hope so you got the point. One concept. Second rule, range of inverse function equals to domain of function. I believe this formula still remember. If you don't remember, I go back and show you those two formulas. And then I start back. Okay, these two formulas I discussed. And what I discussed before, that this range of function is actually domain of inverse function. See, check, 579, same. So range of function is actually domain of inverse function. See, range of function, I repeat again, domain of inverse function equal to range of function. And second number, this domain of a function equal to range of inverse function. So all are familiar. So I think this clear, range of inverse function equal domain of, so reverse, this cross. It means I said before, this will cross like that. Okay. So range will become domain and domain becomes range. Very simple story. I repeat, X become Y and Y become X. So range become domain and domain becomes range. So let's start. I think now you feel better. So let's start. I'm going to discuss this question and finish my part. So before I start, my question from you from here, very clear approach. So in this upper part, what is domain of function? This is called domain of function. So this, I bring it down here because I said that domain of inverse function is a range of function. And what's the range of function is this, you see? So I bring this down here. So Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, final line I'm writing, domain of inverse function is what? Look, this range I'm writing here, y is bigger than equals to -9. Just remove y and make it x. Mabruk, over. This is my answer, over. Short story, that the range of function will become domain of inverse function. So just change y as a x, that's it. Let's go for next part. What is the range of inverse function, students? Is domain of function. What's domain of function, student? Domain of function is this. See, x is less than 1. So what is the range of inverse function? Finally, I'm writing. So I write exactly same thing here. Look, I write exactly same thing. But because I talk about range, and range is always y. So erase this x and write here y, and congratulations, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. So I hope so the point is very clear. I repeat the whole story once again. This is domain. Okay, I'm writing on top. So domain of function is what? X is less than equals to -1. Range of function, I got what? Y is bigger than equals to -9. -9. So students, these two values I take as it is. Just one change. This x become y and y becomes x. And this range I will take as a domain of inverse function, and domain will take as a range. Repeat, domain become range and range become domain. I think now you feel better. And x, I will erase bracket y, and y I erase bracket x. I hope so. The concept is very, very clear, better than before. Okay. So I'm not saying that you got a good picture clearly. Wait a minute. No, dear. I help you. X is less than. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, correct. X is less than 1. Let me check. Oh, sorry, less than 1. Thank you very much. This is less than 1, not -1. Thank you very much. Less than 1. So this is less than 1, and I should write change here even. Thank you very much. On right time, you said this is a less than 1. This is a less than 1. So this is also less than 1. So thank you very much. I think the mistake is covered. By mistake, I wrote -1, and now it's correct. X is less than 1. You can see in diagram even. So it start from 1 and going backward is a domain. Domain is X is less than 1. So range, what is the range? Same thing coming, but I write just Y. X become Y, and this Y becomes X. So I hope so. The point is very, very clear, and the concept is clear. Now do one thing. I allot some questions to you, and you will try as a homework. Okay, and look at here. In this, he asking domain of inverse function. So I think you can try this question, 42 number. Okay, and 42 number question, you can try full. And I believe you can do it full, except the inverse. Inverse function, how much I taught you to can try that. Plus and minus sign, how to plug in, I will teach you next class, but you can do full question. Number 42 is homework. Question number 42 is homework. You can try. And let me find one more question for you. 42 number. 42 number and one more question. 42 number, I give you easy one, not so hard. Okay. And I believe 42 number. Okay, this is another same. Look at here. This is again inverse of domain is asking. So it's a very good question. 56 number. So 24 number. Wait a minute. 24 number, 56 number. 24 given or 42? Wait a minute. 56, 56 and 42. Yeah, 56 and 42. Question number 42 and 56. You have to try, and I hope so. And these both questions, inshallah, I will solve. And maybe, yeah, inshallah, so next class. And next class, I will emphasize on inverse the sign, how to put plus and minus sign. And the last part of the chapter after that is how to deal O levels pattern function questions. For example, this is O levels question. Two functions given by him. Okay. So how to find g of f? If you remember, put f function in g. So this full function will go here. You this kind of question still left. So this is the harder part of chapter is over. Alhamdulillah, easy part left. Why I started from harder part? Because I want to finish in 3 lectures the whole idea. So next class, inshallah, I will teach you again, once again, the inverse concept idea and domain range concept. You got it. And now, if you want to take a screenshot, you can take it. And the concept is clear for today's